Hello and welcome back to GCSE Science Simplified. Today we're diving into the first of a two-part series on pathogens, the tiny organisms that cause disease. In this episode we'll look specifically at bacteria and protists, what makes them harmful, and some real examples you need to understand. Let's start with the fundamentals. What is a pathogen? At GCSE level, a pathogen is defined as a disease-causing organism. That includes things that are too small to see without a microscope, but powerful enough to affect entire organisms and even whole systems in our bodies. Today, we focus on two types of pathogens: bacteria, which are single-celled organisms that can reproduce rapidly, and protists, again, a single-celled organism but with a more complex internal structure. Both can cause serious illness, but they behave very differently. Starting off, bacteria. Bacteria are tiny living cells. Some are harmless or even helpful, like those in your gut. But pathogenic bacteria can make us very poorly. Let's look at two relevant examples. Cholera, caused by Vibrio cholerae. Cholera is an infection of the intestines. The bacteria make a toxin that tells the intestines to release huge amounts of water, which leads to severe diarrhoea. Ugh. This is dangerous because the body loses water and salts too quickly. And with that, we get rapid dehydration. And that dehydration can be fatal without the rehydration. In GCSE questions, examiners often link cholera with contaminated water and poor sanitation, which is why access to clean water is such a big deal and a global health priority. Next, we have tuberculosis, or TB for short. TB is caused by Mycobacterium tuberculosis and primarily affects the lungs. The immune response to the bacteria causes inflammation and tissue damage in the lungs. People with active TB can have these symptoms. That is, a persistent cough, coughing up blood, weight loss, and fatigue. Now, TB can also spread to other organs, but lung damage is the central problem in most cases. Importantly, both cholera and TB are communicable diseases. They can spread from person to person, or in cholera's case, through contaminated water, because the pathogens are transmitted between hosts. Now let's move on to protists. A protist are single-celled organisms that are more complex than bacteria. Many protists live harmlessly in the environment, but some have evolved to live part of their life inside animals, including humans, where they can cause disease. A classic example is malaria. Malaria is caused by a protist from the genus Plasmodium, but here's what makes it different from bacterial disease. It is spread by an insect vector, in this case, a mosquito. When a mosquito carrying Plasmodium bites a human, the protist enters the bloodstream and travels to the liver. Inside liver cells, it reproduces, then re-enters the blood and infects red blood cells. The damage happens in two stages. Liver damage, as the protists grow and multiply, followed by blood damage, because infected red blood cells burst open. The symptoms of this include high fevers, chills, anemia, it's a lack of iron, and fatigue. Because malaria depends on a mosquito vector and a protist life cycle, controlling malaria requires both medical treatment and public health measures, like mosquito nets and insect control. Unlike cholera or TB, malaria is not transmitted directly from person to person. It requires the insect bite as a carrier. Here's a simple way to help you think about these pathogens. Bacteria are like single-player invaders. They follow one main strategy: invade, reproduce, and disrupt a body function. Whereas protists like Plasmodium are more like multi-stage invaders, needing a vector such as a mosquito and then causing damage in different places. Both ultimately interfere with normal body processes, but they do it in different ways. Here's 5 questions for you to try and answer to help secure your learning. 1. Why does cholera cause severe diarrhoea? 2. How does tuberculosis damage the lungs? 3. Why does malaria require a mosquito to spread? 4. What makes bacterial infections different from protist infections? And 5. How do these examples show the variety of ways pathogens cause disease? Try and think about these as full sentences. Have a go, re-listen if you need to. Now, let's finally wrap this up. Today, we've learned a pathogen is a disease-causing organism. Bacteria like Vibrio cholerae and Mycobacterium tuberculosis can cause cholera and tuberculosis, affecting the intestines and lungs respectively. Protists like Plasmodium cause malaria through mosquito transmission and produce liver and blood damage. Different kinds of pathogens cause disease in different ways, and understanding how helps you connect biology to real human health issues. In the next episode, we'll look at viruses and fungi and how they cause disease in humans. But for now, thanks for listening to GCSE Science Simplified.